Amajali Mudra. In our heart center, Anahata Chakra. Let's invoke Swamiji, our Guru. So you can chant the Sadguru Vandanam along with me if you already know the mantra. Take a deep breath. Nithyanandam Paramasukaram Kevalam Jnanamutim Dvandvatitam Gagana Shatrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Savadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadguruntam Namami. Let's chant the Mahavakya 3 times. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Welcome back to today's session. So today we're going to experiment another technique, meditation technique that works on sound. See, in the, I think, third lesson, we work on the power of sound, the primordial sound, the Om Gara. Today, you're going to meditate on the noise. Noise is also sound only. Okay, so let's enter into the outline of the flow of today's session so that you can track along with me. Yes. So today's session, first I'm going to do a few recaps on the power of sound, because many of you are joining this maybe recently only. You were not with me from the beginning, so you missed the lesson on the power of sound. So I'm going to recap some of the salient important truth about the power of sound, because you're working on the ether, the space of, where sound happen. Space is where sound happens. So we're going to recap on the power of sound and how working with the sound awakens your consciousness. So I'm going to go through that, like the power of sound, how sound awakens your consciousness, sound elevate your body, mind, and how to experience power of sound. So these are the 4 salient points that we will recap from the previous session on sound. Then I will introduce the Shastra Pramana of this technique, which is taken from Shiva Sutra, okay, which is the original technique given by Paramashiva to Devi Parvati. And so then I will talk through the steps of the technique. Then we will enter into the process, okay, the whole meditation, and then ending with everyone's sharing. Okay, so that is the outline. Okay, next. So let's understand the power of sound. See, the Vedic Shirs, the Vedic master, the rishis, the sages, they declare that the whole universe is nothing but nada. Nada is the sound, okay? So that's why they say nada Brahman. See, the whole cosmic existence is nothing but vibration, the sound, different frequency of vibrations. So from sound, everything else was created, because the lower elements, I mentioned about the 5 elements, right? Everything started from space first. Space, then air happened. Then from air, fire happened. From fire, water happened. And from water, earth happened. So this is the evolution of the Panchabhutas, the 5 elements, okay? The Maha Panchabhutas. So that's why sound is the subtler part of all the 5 elements. That means because it's happening in the space ether. Next. So the power of sound awakens your consciousness, because your inner space is the same as the cosmic space, Akasha, okay, Chidakasha, okay. So sound is one of the important methods to awaken the higher consciousness in all of us. In the East, that means in the Vedic tradition, language is not used just to convey particular meaning, like a logical concept. Language is used for transmitting vibration as well. That's why in Sanskrit, it is phonetically significant, not just the meaning of the word, but the vibration of each words of the Sanskrit carry certain vibration of frequency. That's why for Sanskrit, it is called Deva Bhasha, the language of God. Okay, next. So how sound elevates your body mind? Let's understand this in a deeper level. Your body mind can be elevated, can be transported to a different plane of consciousness, a different locus, or different, I would say frequency, by existence, just by the power of sound. Okay. So, in fact, all our Vedic masters, enlightened masters, they could turn the whole life, because they knew the power of sound. They know how to use it, and they know how to use sound particles. Okay? So all this is, in fact, sound is the most sophisticated medium, more advanced in terms of a science or technology than light. Okay? See, if you have read in the old scriptures, they say that a lot of the atomic war, they were fought using sound. They call it Brahmastra. Okay, Brahmastra is the weapon using sound, atomic weapon using sound, and they used also the sound technology to create aeroplane. See, our create certain mantra vibration, and they can take off. Okay, so this is so advanced, but unfortunately, this science has been lost during the Mahabharata war. During the Mahabharata war, not only they destroyed many things, they also destroyed a lot of the knowledge. Okay, so that's why Swamiji's advent on planet Earth is to revive all this past glory of Vedic tradition, all the sciences that had made this whole culture, this whole lifestyle so rich and so powerful. And he's here to revive all that. You know how if you have seen through some of the Vedic temples, there's this thing called the UFO. It's called Vimanas. Okay, Vimanas are like UFO. They're all powered by sound. So they sit in and they just create certain vibration, and then the thing can take off and just fly off to different parts of the universe. Okay, so this is possible by the sound technology. So you used to have that. So now today, please understand you're working on very powerful meditation technique today, given by Paramashivoham. Next slide. So how to experience power of sound? See, only when you can sit with yourself, only if your mind and words are integrated, only if you have enough inner space, you can experience the power of sound. If you are flustered in your inner space, restless, your ability to work with the sound will be limited. So you need the basic quality of experiment or experience the power of sound is that you must be able to sit with yourself doing nothing. It means like totally unclutched, just be still. Only when you're able to do that, you can enter into the most subtle part of your existence, which is ether space. Okay? So that's why all the preparation in yoga, in your diet, in your detoxification that you have gone through in the past helps to prepare you to be able to have such a pure inner space to enter into more and more subtle meditation technique. Understand? Some meditation technique works on the physical, so you move, you jump, you dance, okay? But sound is the most subtle part of the 5 elements. So it needs preparation. That means your inner space needs preparation. Next. So let's look at the Shastra Pramana, okay, which is the original scriptures, the authoritative scriptures given by the source, which is Paramashiva. This is taken from Shiva Sutra, verse 14. It says, bathe in the center of sound, as in the continuous sound of a waterfall, or by putting fingers in the ears, hear the sound of sounds. Okay, so basically this technique requires you to work with noise. Okay, let's go to the next slide. I will explain in details. So in the center is the silence. Okay, at your very core of your center is silence, which is what we actually are trying to enter into for all meditation, is to enter into the silence. Okay, so Paramashiva says excessive sound has the same effect as plugging your ears. See, when you plug your ears, it just shut all the noise and you enter into that like a vacuum, right? So when the sound is noise and continuous, you can no longer distinguish separate sounds. Okay, but if too many sounds or noise are created, then the sound itself become like a barrier. Okay, but in the middle of the noise, just try, like later we'll do this, to plug your ears with your fingers. Okay, suddenly you will hear a new sound, what they call a soundless sound. Okay, it's like a vacuum, but you can hear the vacuum sound. Okay, so the new sound is the absence of sound. There is such a sound and you can easily hear it. So I'm going to take you through that space where you hear the soundless sound. Okay, this is today's technique. Hear the soundless sound. So with sound, we begin to flow towards the source of the sound. Let's say you hear some bird chirping or some kind of music. Your awareness tend to flow towards that, right? But with soundlessness, okay, you just fall inwards into your center. This is a technique. With soundlessness, fall within your highest consciousness, your highest self. Okay, so listen to both. So in this technique, you'll be required to listen to both the outer sound and the soundless sound inside you at the center, which is silence. In that silence, experience the silence, the soundless sound. Okay, so move from one to another. That means listening to the outer sound and your inner soundless sound. Okay, each time when you're aware of this different in inner and outer sound, your sharpness of perception will increase tremendously. This technique trains your perception, your sharpness. It means highly alert and highly perceptive. Okay, because it's working on your inner space. So this, one of the benefit is not only you feel relaxed, you not only feel so much healing. See, Swamiji say again and again, when you infuse more and more silence, you simply heal yourself. Because in that silence, you're back to the original state of your consciousness. You're not, stuck with the mind, where it's constantly thinking on past and future, but nothing but fear and greed only. So you'll be running behind fear and greed, and your thought is preoccupied between fear and greed only. So when you suddenly drop this struggle of fear and greed of your mind, you fall into the center where there's nothing, emptiness, there's silence. In that silence, healing happen, clarity happen, knowing happen, intuition happen, all good things happen. So let's see whatever happens, and you start to become increasingly perceptive. Okay, that means ability to see things clearly. That means higher intelligence. Okay, sounds good. You want higher intelligence? Give me a thumbs up. Everyone want higher intelligence? Don't become a Dumbo, right? So then you will see the play of the whole entire cosmos. Because what happened is, when you fall into the center, you become Paramashiva. You are like Paramashiva, who is sitting everything and observing the whole entire cosmos or the universe in front of you. This is the space you're going to enter into. Okay? Are you ready? Thumbs up? Yes? Okay. So now, let's see. Is this the last slide? I think this is the last slide. Okay. So let me just walk you through the step first. I will take you through the steps when you start the process. But I will just briefly mention so that you can mentally be aware to anticipate what is going to happen. So first, obviously, I need you to sit somewhere, wherever you're sitting now. See, if you're going to practice this technique, sit somewhere where there's noise. The noisier the place, the better. So I'm going to play some noise later on, some sound, okay? Look for a place where there's continuous sound. It could be a natural place like a river or waterfall, or it could be a railway station like a marketplace where there are constantly sounds being created. Okay, so which means what? You can do this meditation anywhere, correct? You don't need to find some corner to do this meditation. Even when you're commuting on the train or MRT or bus, you can do this technique. Okay, so the step 2 is sit silently, feel the sound coming towards you from all the directions like waves of sound hitting you. With sound flowing to you from all directions, feel yourself at the center of this storm of sound. Like this whole storm of sound is coming to you. Okay? And you're at the center and sound are flowing towards you. This is the second step. You let the vibration of the sound come towards you. Like you're here and you're attracting all the waves of the sound. So the third step, feel at the center where you are, there's no sound. Okay? At the center, there is total silence, and if there is a sound at the center, you would not be able to hear the sound outside. Understand? You only be able to hear the sound outside only when your center is empty, is silent. The sound are entering you and penetrating you, and they stop at the center. You'll see that the sound stop at the center. Okay, next slide. I'll guide you through all these steps, so I'm just preempting you. So inside you, there is a point where all sounds stop. It is from that point that every sound is being heard, and you should try to locate that center, that stillness, okay, or that soundless sound, the silence. Then suddenly you will locate it, okay, you will find it. You just be patient, and your awareness will turn inwards. You just become so aware of inside. Okay, your awareness will shift from the outer world sound to the center where there is silence. There is a point where no sound can enter. That point is you. Paramashiva is that pure consciousness where no sound can enter into him. You fall back to your center. You fall back to the consciousness of Paramashiva. Understand? So then continuously listen to both outer sound and soundless sound at the center. Be able to play with both to see the difference. So move from one to the other and back again into the silence. Okay, so this is going to meditation technique. We'll do it for 21 minutes. Are you all ready? Get your IBAN, okay? Yeah, so all of you, please put on the IBAN now. I'm going to prepare for the sound. Once you're ready, please sit in any comfortable meditative posture, as we are going to remember I told you, you need to be able to sit with yourself. Then you can catch the most subtle elements. If you're fidgety, you are restless, you're itchy here and there, forget it. Your body will be torturing you. You can't even sit still. So that's why the whole preparation of yoga and all this is to prepare for you to sit with yourself for a long time. I'm not only asking for 21 minutes. Eventually you can increase to 42 minutes or even 1 hour. So that's the whole purpose. Because we only have 21 minutes in this session. So come all of you. Are you ready? Here? Yes. Okay, great. So now, I'd like all of you to sit with the back straight comfortably. Bring awareness to your breathing once again. Let's enter into this listening meditation. As you know that sound, we live in a storm of sound in the outer world, right? Sounds are always moving towards us, crushing upon us, engulfing us. We are lost in the storm of sound, but in the center of the storm there is a silence which normally we haven't heard unless you have this awareness. So this meditation is going to make us aware of the silence in the center of the storm of this sound. This is the whole technique. Okay. So now I'd like you to sit. I'm going to play certain natural sound, okay, and see whether you can recognize where this sound is coming from. Okay. It is going to be a high frequency vibrational sound. Okay. It is the sound of Himalayas. Okay. So I'm going to elevate you now to the core of Himalayas, the snow of Himalayas. So allow the sound to come to you in all the direction, because I'm going to amplify this sound which is created through certain recording. Okay. So just feel yourself at the center of this storm of sound. ears with your fingers, your thumb, lock your ears. And hear the new sound, the soundless sound. Lock the ears. Use the thumb and lock the two holes, your ears. never silence. You'll never be again disturbed by sound. Never touched by sound. No sound can ever affect you anymore. Slowly settle down. Alright, can you take a deep breath of the deep breath on the Zoom? Yeah, take a spin breath for me. Alright, you can now remove your eye bands, slowly come back to this space where we are now. So how was it? You gone to Mount Kailash? So, anyone want to share your experience? Anyone felt the extremely high frequency of Himalayas? The moment I play the snowstorm sound. Anyone felt that?
I thought the energy is stronger.
Yeah, the energy is very strong, right?
Yes, it's strong.
Yes.
I feel that the energy is stronger.
Louder, please, cannot hear you.
I said I felt that the energy is stronger, definitely.
Yeah, I purposely chose this track. So you all can feel a strong vibrational frequency of Himalayas. You know, normally we don't get to go Himalayas, right? So myself play the sound. I mean, we're not in a natural setting in the sense that we're in a waterfall or some kind of a river, right? So I thought, okay, let's go to Himalayas then. Okay, who else want to share? You want to share?
I saw Lord Shiva and
Baby?
yes. Then I said I got a lot of things to tell, to share, to ask. Then Lord Shiva just sit there and said,
Don't talk to me. I want to meditate. He said,
Yeah.
He said, don't disturb me.
Yeah.
And then?
And then after that I saw Debbie. Then she gave me the gold color energy.
Nice. Wow. Got spiritual experiences. Good. Any more? Who else want to share on the Zoom?
Yes, I have something to share.
Okay, yeah, tell me.
Yes, I feel I have a inner sound seeming to coming from the somewhere below the rib cage.
Yeah,
The sound just keep on,
yes.
yeah, just keep on coming out. You know, constantly saying, I want this, I want that. It all comes from here. You know, in the past I would thought it's all coming from my brain, but it's all coming from there.
Yeah. See, all thoughts, all noise come from the neighbor. I never tell you. You actually experience it yourself. Understand? All the thoughts, inner chatters are from the neighbor, not from here. Okay, it's from neighbor. It originates from neighbor. All verbalizations start from the neighbor chakra. Okay?
Yes. And when you ask me to stop to stop the external sound by pressing the
Yes.
earbud, then it reminded me of childhood. When I get scolded, I although the sound is playing outside, scolding me, but there's an inner voice saying, "Yeah, no, that's not true. I think this is the correct way. No, I don't believe. I do not obey." So it reminded me of those experiences.
When you were a child.
Yes, and I could actually block out the external voices by just having the inner sound.
So great. So you had it reminded you of this incident where you were punished and then you just block away all the sound, external sound, and just fall into your center. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So now I actually realize, oh, that is actually there's a center.
You already did the technique when you were young.
Yes.
Without knowing. You were just like, oh, so noisy outside, shut up. I'm just going to sit with myself and listen to myself, right?
Yes. Now I know the science behind it.
Yeah. See, when you know the science behind, you will practice it with more confidence, and the experience become more and more consistent. See, before that you don't know, you were just like a hit and miss. Right? Sometimes you just, okay. Then after that, you didn't think about it and you forget about that technique entirely. But here and now you know that it's actually a technique given by Paramashiva. Even from sound, you can get enlightened. Isn't it so cool? He give all techniques. Okay, you want noise, I also give you enlightenment. You sound, I also give you enlightenment. You meditate on pranava, right? Omkara, you get enlightened. You meditate, let's say your place is too noisy, okay, fall within your center and you also get enlightened. Isn't it cool? You can't miss enlightenment. Shiva is just too compassionate. He just gives all kinds of technique to make you enlightened. So this is one technique you can do anywhere, even though you're in the midst of the hustle and bustle of a city life. You don't need to go to the Himalayas and hide in a mountain, to feel the high frequency and then get enlightened. No. Even when you are in the midst of like a busy street or wherever there's noise, you can still fall in tune with that silence. But first, you need to locate that silence first. Once you experience that, you can always come back. Once you have the constant, I would say, connection with this silent space, no outside noise can touch you anymore. Even you could be where your kids are running and your kids are screaming on top of their voice, you will still be as calm, as cool as cucumber, as Paramashiva. Nothing can touch you anymore. So that is the beauty of why you can see why some people are so cool and calm when there's a midst of big adversity or like some kind of major catastrophe happening outside, but they still remain so calm. That's because they know how to find that center. The center, that silence, is what holds you. That's what in Upanishad, this is the space where the Rishi described as immovable. Your name, Jatashatika, the immovable part is this thing. The stillness, the immovable part, which you feel this solid core of you. This is the real you. That point is the real you. Understand? So constantly come back to this point where you experience this silence, and you will fall in tune with your ultimate, your higher self. Okay? Anyone want to share?
Is the silence in between your ears, the middle?
The silence? Where do you experience the silence? Come on, I want to see where do you experience the silence? Where? When you're sitting, where do you experience the silence?
It's like somewhere in the middle of the eardrum.
In the center? Okay. Who else? Where you?
My ear in here.
Your heart. Okay.
Like in the middle of here, like something.
Yeah, it's the third eye area. Who else? Where?
For me, I
What are
find
the
it,
rest? Huh?
I find the silence below the throat and above the stomach.
In your stomach region. Okay,
Above the stomach and below the throat.
Below the where?
The
The chest?
neck.
The neck. That means below the throat, but above the navel. In the heart
Yes.
area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Who else? Who else? Hey, are you typing or? Okay, let me just see. Somebody type the answer. In the head. Okay, Maheshwari felt in the head. Okay. It depends where you are established. Okay. For me, I experience like a column, like a column of light or space, where like that column, nothing can enter. Okay. But first, I felt it in the third eye area first, because that's the inner space that the vibration was felt. Okay, hitting. Then of course, once you silence your inner chatters, you go through like a expanded awareness. like you're almost like in a vacuum, where you're aware, yet all the sounds are out there, but you're like a protected bubble,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You felt the protected bubble?
You still can hear the sound.
Yeah, but they can't touch you.
Can't touch us.
That's right.
Especially after we remove.
Yes.
After we remove, you can feel the sound is very far away.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
But there's this bubble that
You can't.
don't come and chocho me, Yes. Anyone experience the same thing out there? You feel there's this bubble, and then the sound cannot enter this bubble. That silent space is what
Yes,
I'm talking about.
I can feel it. Yes. So sometimes even in a noisy place, where there is like construction going on, while I'm doing meditation, I can still feel that. I was wondering why. I thought only when you meditate in a very peaceful environment, you can go inwards. But I can still block out the noise. When the noise level is very high.
Okay. So which maybe in the past you already play with this technique, so it's kind of like it become like your bio memory it's easy for you to fall back to this space again and again. So anyone else want to share besides Jane? You want to share? How was the experience today? You type, huh? Wait, let me just see.
Okay, I speak. I felt that I was under the water, like a submarine.
In the water.
Yeah,
And
and had this very low frequency around me.
But you experienced the silence and the calmness and
yes, but I also felt a tranquility inside me. It was there was absolutely nothing inside me,
yes.
and then I felt, but although I heard the sound of silence, like this very low frequency around me, just like submerged in the water.
Yes.
And I couldn't hear much noise outside this low frequency though.
Yes,
Like
because in that silence, you are in that space where you are just in tune with yourself. Okay, so that's why nothing touches you. So that's why we're in the original scripture of Upanishad say you can't be violated because you're never touched. Even anything that happened in the outer world, all pain and suffering, you can't be violated because you're never touched by anything. Understand? So when you find this center, you know that you're always, the all-knowing, all-powerful, that consciousness. You will realize that whatever your mind make you think of pain, suffering, all this in the outer world, they just lose power over you because you can constantly fall in tune with this so-called the real you and be able to handle everything in the outer world from that consciousness rather than this body mind. Understand? Finding this space of silence is too precious, too invaluable. Understand? Which means so much good things will happen because not only your perception will increase, you'll never be imbalanced. Imbalancing from external noise or imbalancing from external, we call it shakes, will not have any impact on you anymore. You will feel that you are much calmer and stable in handling all kinds of ups and downs in the outer world. You will see. If you practice this technique again and again and find that center, able to fall in tune with that silence, you'll see how stable and how calm and how perceptive you will become in all decision making. Because you'll be operating as Paramashiva only. So, great. All of you who have not had a chance to share, I recommend you share in the group because we're already gone past, 8 o'clock because we started late. So once again, I complete with the session being late. And so with that, shall we conclude with the Purna mantra? Thank you all for joining. So join the palms together in your heart center once again. Let's give ourselves a bow from within in deep gratitude for whatever you have received in terms of spiritual experiences, because any spiritual experience is a gift. So share that with people. When you share, that experience get retained inside you. Okay, which means more and more spiritual experiences will be showered on you. When you experience and don't share, that's where what Krishna said, you're a thief. You steal it, but you never share. You try to keep it to yourself. Okay, so share with as many people as possible of this possibility. So let's end with the Purna mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sauvam Bhagavad Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Paduka Paramasu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you. Hey, Wawa, do you take a screenshot? You did? Okay, thank you. So you can
Thank you.
stop the